Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today I want to, thank you. Today I want to talk about my involvement on the stewardship committee this year and some of my experiences with the church. I have been part of All Saints since 1994. My children, Josh and Julia, grew up here. They are now 20 and 23. And Josh is planning on working with David Baxter to create a video related to his experiences here. So look for that online over probably the next 2 or 3 weeks. Related to the stewardship committee, Lorraine Warner called me and asked if I would participate, and because God works in great ways, turns out the timing was good. I'm recovering from rotator cuff surgery, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm ready to start participating in some activities, and it's just a blessing. I'll be honest, sometimes when I'm asked to participate on a committee, I might hesitate and think, do I really have the time or the desire? How can I add value? And in the case of this particular committee, I didn't give it any thought. I knew it was something I wanted to do, but I've been surprised how it has impacted me. We have been having meetings and planning and completing tasks. Chuck Collier, I think in particular, has worked really hard to plan for the breakfast and the dinners. I went to the breakfast yesterday, and it was so much fun. It was just very casual and relaxing. So if you haven't been able to sign up yet or want to come to tonight's dinner, I know that you will be welcome and encourage that. So outside of the work that we have been doing, I've been reading a lot of materials that Chuck has shared with the committee, and it's just amazing how a lot of what I have read relates to some personal challenges and things I'm working on in my life. So I've been doubly blessed in that way. And I can say whenever I have volunteered for anything at the church, I have never regretted it. If you want to talk to me about my experiences, I'm happy to share. It's all been a lot of work, but a lot of fun and full of blessings. I think everybody knows that our focus during this time has been on 2 questions. When have I had more than enough, and how has All Saints blessed me? Well, sometimes I do doubt if I'm going to have enough to support my family, either financially or time-wise. And as I've been preparing for talking today and starting to participate more again at church, I've been reminded about the challenges the church has been through and all the hard work that has been done and the persistence, as Nancy said several times during her sermon, as well as praying persistently. And I'm just kind of at a loss for words. Just so proud, I guess, about the way this congregation and the vestry and our leadership and clergy and staff never give up. Despite the challenges that we face, we are always able to find a way through creativity and, like I said, persistence and prayer. I was looking at this notebook that I pulled out of my drawer to write in as I prepared for this speech. I've had it since 2004, and it says Space for God. And in it, I found notes from Finance Committee minutes or meetings back to 2004 through 2009. And I read about what we were considering back then. Part of it was the Welcome Center and the Parish Hall. Part of it was the need to improve the education wing. Part of it was how are we going to spend our money? Where is the money that we need going to come from? And obviously, with those 3 examples, they all have come to fruition, and we just finished another major improvement in the education wing. So that really just has helped me realize I do need to continue to have faith, put my faith in God and look at all of you in this church to inspire me, and know that I will have enough or more than enough. And I have experiences in my life that prove that, yet sometimes I forget them. I mentioned earlier the reflections and materials that Chuck has shared, and one in particular really moved me in specific regard to the stewardship campaign. And I wanted to end today by reading this reflection to you. It is written by Davy Gerhard, who is the executive director of the Episcopal Network for Stewardship. Our materials for this campaign came from that network, and gosh, Chuck, they have been amazing. Very short, just like one page, quick to read. So I'll end with this particular reading. When Elijah meets the widow of Zarephath, as the story is told to us in 1 Kings, he asks to be fed from the very last of her stores. She explains to him that she's gathering wood for the fire she'll make to cook the last meal she expects to eat before she and her son die of starvation. Still, he asks her to make some bread. Even though Elijah promises that she won't run out of flour and oil, how can she know this is true? The first miracle of the story is that she shares the very last that she has with this entitled man who is asking for food and drink. In my opinion, it overshadows the other miracles that follow, the never-empty jugs of oil and flour. Because the first miracle to be effective, the widow must first make the most daring risk. I see this miracle replayed often in the church. When faced with diminished resources, I have witnessed congregations get creative, roll up their sleeves, and find ways to engage their mission. In situations where old models were failing to attract new energy, I have seen members volunteer their ideas, their wisdom, to help the congregation move beyond its capacity. I have seen vestries take risks in order to extend more services, more ministry in their communities, even if the path to staffing or funding it wasn't immediately clear. In every one of these circumstances, miracles were present because in every one of these circumstances, there was more than enough. More than enough people to do the work, more than enough money to cover the cost, more than enough creativity to carry the project forward. Even when we feel depleted, there is more than enough. Maybe the recent pandemic has made you wonder if your congregation will be able to continue, able to provide ministry and pay the bills. Maybe you have had to make serious adjustments in your own household budget or your plans. Our stewardship of our personal and collective resources reminds us of the abundance around us. There will be more than enough because our faith will unlock the generosity of others. Expect miracles. Thank you all.